Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. The 4 stripes, if we were just talking about it and we thought, okay, let's call it 4 stripe. What does it mean? I have to take you back into my childhood. For my imaginary 4 stripes, I had no idea. But 4 stripes, I kind of calculated it as I was a singer, I was a dancer without any formal training, because obviously, vocally, you were not allowed to do that. But nobody stopped me. My 4th one was, again, like singing, but girl guiding, which was scouts. We used to call it girl guide. So I used to wear my uniform, and I used to hear the rustle of the starched uniform in the morning. I was about 12 years old. And then my drawing. I was a non-stop drawer. Simply just illustrations, and drawing about stories, about romance, about anything. It was like a girl is getting married and she's going off and she's got these colorful clothes. That's all I did. I don't remember doing any holding a broom and cleaning up. It's not because I come from a very privileged background. But in Pakistan, where I come from, we had people to help us out. My father was very grateful. But I was grateful. So when I used to paint or when I used to draw, the next thing I used to see, my drawings, sometimes I used to do them on the flaps, you know, when your brothers or your fathers, the new shirts are being worn, then you got these flaps in there. I used to draw on anything. I used to sit in my classroom and I'll draw, I used to have white trousers and I used to draw on that. So draw was something which was just imaginable. So these 4 lines, for somehow, these 4 lines stayed with me in my system, in my soul. And obviously, to get to 4 lines, we're talking about courage as well. So there are lots and lots of courage that I would like to tell you about, and I'm sure all of you who are here, whoever is listening, I'm sure they must have gone through lots and lots of tribes, not just 4 tribes. There's tribes. Next thing I heard, that I'm supposed to get married at the age of 16. No idea. I used to play with dolls and I used to have musical parties at home. All the neighborhood would gather and hear the drum and singing and all that, all these traditional songs. And when I was getting married, the neighborhood thought it was another doll's wedding. And apparently it was me who was getting married to a person that I didn't really know much about. At the age of 16, even at 15, what do you know about yourself? Forget about anybody else. Anyway, arranged marriages, which is the norm, still happening. My bags were packed with colorful clothes and jewelry and glitter and all that. I wish those suitcases, those bags were filled with some kind of bullet points to say, do's and don'ts. You are going to another country. You're going to a different culture. You're going to face these maybe difficult times or happy times. How does a 15-year-old or 16-year-old becomes a mother or a daughter-in-law or a wife? I wish all those notes were in there as opposed to love the clothes though. I love dressing up. But I wish at that time I had a mentor, somebody was telling me, it wasn't a bad kind of intention of my parents. That is something that you got to do, you got to do. So you got on the plane, didn't even know how to tie the seatbelt. And somebody came, and my uncle was actually accompanying me, who was a hockey player champion, Olympic champion. So he was all busy with his team. And I sat there like an idiot in the plane. And I thought, okay, going somewhere, the clouds were changing, the colors were changing. As you're coming from the east to west, that's how I felt. Got off the plane. And I was told the next 2 days later to say, the Hoover, the vacuum cleaner girl who hasn't even held the broom. This is how you move it. You don't move it just side by side. Oh, the vacuum cleaner. So Hoover has to be, later on found out it was a company. It wasn't, so who have you hoovered it? No, I haven't. Okay, do it. But it has to go backwards and forwards. London. Whoever's coming to the house, no problem. Now's the time of challenges. First of all, you don't have a language. You don't understand the culture. You don't understand the weather. You don't understand how do you behave. I was told by a person to say, at my ceremony when I was having it in England, tell her to behave like a Pakistani girl, a Pakistani bride. And I was scratching my head. How does a Pakistani girl or any girl should behave? I remember the night before, I was making the koftas until 3 o'clock in the morning for, must have been 100 people. And I could remember all this perfume, makeup, jewelry, and looking like a bride, but my hands were still smelling of koftas. I never forget that. Anyway, that is the life. That is the fate was waiting for me, before me. The first challenge was my beautiful daughter. At the age of 18, I'm having a daughter who could not hear the sounds, or who could not speak, who could not. So I felt it. There was something definitely different in her. I was an artist. I was an observant person at the very young age. But I could feel that the sound was different. She was sounding like in the hospital, like there was a peacock. You know, when you go to Holland Park, you hear all these peacocks in London. I took her to a GP, doctor, to say, look, I think there's something wrong with her. My English, obviously, my conversation, whatever I would say, or whatever I could tell her, I knew. Nothing came out of it, but 2 years later, I was told that she won't be able to hear. That is a challenge. So you're facing a challenge, then you're facing a person's challenge. So two huge challenges. A person who was being bullied, a small girl, because obviously she can't hear, people didn't think she was normal. So I used to lock myself in every time a speech therapist came. I didn't want to be part of it. I didn't want to accept that it was a reality. And someone came to me one day and said, listen, you've got to have the courage. You've got to have those imaginary 4 lines, which in my mind, I have made a formula to say faith, you must have faith. Sure. You must have, first of all, you must have faith in yourself. Faith in your elders, faith in your mentors, faith in your Almighty, or whoever you worship, or whoever is in your heart. Then you have value. You value yourself. We value the world, we value our things, we value our objects, we value our cars, everything. We don't think about ourselves. So value yourself. Then it's hard work. Without hard work, can anybody achieve anything? Do you think it has been an easy journey for me or for yourself to have the 4 stripes? After hard work comes the passion. Without passion, forget any hard work, forget any value, forget about any faith. You have to have the drive to go forward. I was told, if you want to, within those 10, again, I'm talking about 4 stripes, my 4 decades, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about. I was told in the first decade of my 4 stripes, stick your head out of the window if you need fresh air. So if I wanted fresh air in the Western world, stick your head out. I wish I knew how to stick out and jump out of there. Anyway, Next thing is I passed my driving test, and I'm sure that the vacuum cleaner, which was I knew how to put it in first gear and how to put it in reverse gear, and I passed it the first attempt. So I was beginning to feel that there's somebody that's inside this body, there is a soul inside. For all these years, I was told not to sing. My drawing was completely gone. Forget about dancing and whatever. I was just simply living and making sure that I take care of my child and my next child. And mashallah, I have got 4 kids now. Again 4. 4 is a number, it just stays in me. And I think it's very lucky for me. 10th year later, someone heard my voice, singing voice. And where I was, they say, oh, we know you can sing. Can you please give it a go? So I looked around, nobody was there from people that I knew. So I started singing. And there was a guy from the BBC, from BBC World Service. And they went there. This is how the fate plays. When you are thinking about it, the whole universe start to work around you, provided you've got the passion. You really want to do it. You want to get out of your icon. You want to get out of your cocoon. So the person went, and the next day I got a phone call to say, oh, we have heard that you're here. Would you please come and take part in our program? My father used to listen to the BBC, and that's all I knew about World Service. So I took the whole family, my 2 children at that time and my husband. Nobody knew how to press the button to take the district line. Anyway, we got there, and I took part in the program, and they said, would you please come next time? Next time, and the next time, and the next time. For 22 years, I never moved out of that building. However, for 2 years, stayed in one section, learned, scared. All those masters sitting around you with the green light, with the red light. Every time a green light, my palms used to be so sweaty, even just now, as I was coming on the stage. Even up till now, I am nervous. Nervous to say people are watching you, people are listening to you. And I just wish that whatever I have learned, all I'm trying to do is to transfer it, especially to the young people. That is my motive. And I asked my editor, I said, look, I don't know why it happens, but as soon as the green light comes, I start to speak. I said, the moment it stops, the moment your hands stop sweating, that means you become a bad broadcaster. And that has stayed in you. You've got to work. You've got to make an effort. You've got to be hungry. Sometimes a little angry as well. Maybe with yourself to say, why I'm not doing enough. BBC World Service went in, moved into Outlook, moved into the Meridian, interviewed the head of states, interviewed the people and making stories, went into the World Today and NewsHour. 22 years in one building. That became my home, my soul. At the same time, I had a life with my children. I had to make sure my children were well fed, bills were paid. I wanted to make sure that my kids were getting the best education because that was my motive. I didn't know where I was going and what I was doing. The imaginary 4 stripes were coming along with me. I didn't know when I became a celebrity and my pictures were all over the underground and all the red buses. I just stay humble. And I say, thank you, God. Thank you for the people who have made me who I am today. And this is another thing, that we must not forget those people who have helped you out. When you find your mentors, stick on to them. Hold their hands and make sure you pass it over. Become a mentor for young people. Earthquake took place. I was also presenting on television. 12 hours night shifts. Literally like fighting with life. But I didn't know which way I was going. There are still moments when I see a dark corner, right there. And I say, God, can you just give me some light, because I just cannot think beyond that tunnel. And trust me, when you are thinking like that, light, it just comes to you. Just have that faith, just have that value, just to make sure that you do the hard work. Because whatever you do, if you want a horse to drink water, you can take a horse to the river or to the pond, but you can't make him or make it a drink. So you got to make sure that people are moving, and it's never ever ending. And the moment you feel that's it, I've done. Next thing, the earthquake took place. I was presenting on television. I was sent out to the affected area, because all I was doing is broadcasting, and I became part of this. Like this hall, I'm just one of the chairs. I didn't know anything other than microphone, talking, and interviewing. But a lot went in. Meeting 42 languages around you. You're meeting, you're communicating with people. You're not just working, but you are actually connecting with the outer world. And that's what we need to learn. Connect with people, connect with your neighbors, connect with your children. We don't really connect with our children. We always blame our children. But do we actually look into their eyes? I can't see that, just their new voices. So it's just, thank you. So it's just that earthquake, when I got into the disaster zone, so many dead bodies. I was traveling by helicopter every morning. Hundreds of people just came and gathered around me to see, as if I was there to help them. I was simply reporting. And this is when, my dear, that I realized that I have come to this world as a facilitator. I have to do something. There is no way I can leave this world without leaving some sort of legacy, anything that you have learned. And as I said earlier, that when you're thinking like that, the whole universe is working on you, it's helping you. Next thing is, within 2 weeks of that time, I was invited to head a project to teach basic English and basic IT and cultural activities to the Muslim women living in Britain. It was a matter of just 100 women. Within 8 years, we managed to get, meaning my project, the people who were working with me, managed to get 9,000 women, more than 9,000 women educated. So that is something, you're now, I am nobody to give it to anyone. But at least whatever I have learned, I can pass it on. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, this uniform comes. A letter comes, I received the OBE from Her Majesty, and I can never forget the words when she said, "Thank you very much for coming to this country, Durdana, and thank you very much for helping our people here." I was literally taken aback. A few years later, I received a similar kind of letter to say, "Would you become Lieutenant Commander?" I'm going to Her Majesty the Queen to take her consent. It is the first CEO talking. And I was the luckiest person, I consider myself, that they offered me this amazing uniform. And I absolutely love it. I respect it. And again, it's the 4 lines, 4 stripes, which has stayed with me. And I just like to say to the young people, especially to parents, communities, please speak to your children. Please make sure if there's a girl in your, I will talk about girls. If you have a girl who's passionate about something, don't stigmatize them to say, "Oh, she's mad." Please try and understand what sort of qualities she possesses. What does she want to do? Can I become her mentor? Is there something I can help? You don't need a lot of money to do that, to be able to understand people. So I'm absolutely grateful. Somebody said to me on television, I'm always giving interviews, to say, "Are you going to retire now?" I said, "Hang on, I just started my life." And somebody 2 days ago, amazing man, he said, "How old are you?" And I found kind of as a Navy person, and he said to me, please don't be shy, just tell me. So I did. He said, you know, you have achieved so much. You have crossed that stage of menopause. You got, seriously. And I was like, is he really telling me this nicely? And then you've got grown-up children. You've done it all. And now you have the drive, that energy. Don't waste it. So please, do not waste your energy. Spread it out. Make yourself like I am the one, and I'm going to do it. If all of us start feeling this, trust me, we will all go forward. Thank you very much.